Am I audible to everyone?
I can hear you.
Yeah. So today's agenda is initial setup that we require to run Python code. So that that involves Anaconda installation. And the Anaconda is like very much a kind of package, but it comes with not just Python, pip, which is a package manager. It comes with a couple of IDs also. So in this case, we are going to use Jupyter Notebook for the next 10 days, right, till we complete Python basics. And then we will start using Visual Code. So for now, we don't require Visual Code installation procedure. We'll stick to Anaconda inspection. And then we will discuss, I'll give an overview of Jupyter Notebook IDE. Then I'll explain few shortcuts. And then we will start Python basics. Okay. Let's start with Anaconda installation. Search for Anaconda. You can see the first link, anaconda.com. So click on this. Click on download. Here you can accept all and then skip registration. Registration is not must. And there are two versions in both Windows and Mac. Based on your operating system, you need to click one of this. Most probably one of these two. Linux, if at all someone using here, so you can click on Linux. There are two versions here, so Anaconda distribution and Miniconda. Miniconda is also Anaconda, but a lighter version. So you're supposed to install it in your desktop. So go with Anaconda distribution, complete Anaconda distribution. There's a paid version too. This is a free one. Free one is good enough for us. And so you don't have to pay anything for this. So if it is Windows, click on this. While downloading, so click right click and open vendor. Click on open vendor. It automatically pops up with an window once it gets completed. The problem with this exe file is that if you download it and try to double click on it to open that window, so it will take some time. So then there is a possibility that you keep on trying to open the txt file. That will slow down the whole process. So it's better to right click on this exe and click on open when done, so that it will automatically pop up once it get completed. So this part has been completed. The interface may change, every week and then. So you need to, only this part will change. This interface will get changed, frequently get changed. So I think it's been changed. It has been changed a month ago. So if you have any difficulty in accessing this, getting this option, let me know. Now you can see there is a window over here, right? Click on that. Click on next. Click on I agree. Click on all users. So once you click and you need to click on this next button. Once you click on this next button, a pop-up will appear. So it may not appear on in this meeting, but a pop-up will appear saying that user account control. Do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Click yes. And then you will get this window, another window, second window. with the path. You can change the path, but stick with the default one. So in my case, I already installed Anaconda. So you can see all the binaries, Anaconda binaries, right? So I can't install with the same path. But in your case, don't make any changes here. Simply click on next button. Here I'm making changes because I can't proceed further unless I give a different folder name. So next, that is not empty. So maybe I have another folder. Me click on next, and then you'll get this window. So you don't require to create any shortcut. You need to click on these two checkboxes, right? And then click on install. So I'm not going to click on install, but I will show you the next window that's going to appear. So till this part we have completed, right? Once you click on the install, then you'll get a progress bar saying that installing. And then once it get completed, you can see that a message completed, and next button will enable. By default, when it is installing, so the next button will get disabled. So once it get completed, click on next again, and then if at all these two checkboxes are checked, uncheck these two, and then click on finish, right? And then once you complete the Anaconda installation part, you need to configure the environment variables. So these are the 5 paths. So I assume that you stick with the default path. Okay, so I'm going to copy it in chat, have it in a notepad. If you change the path, then you need to change this whole thing. So I assume that this is the default path. If you change this path, again, you need to change in every path. Yeah. I mean, to say instead of program data Anaconda 3, you need to give it some other name. And by the way, this is only for Windows users, not for Mac. You don't require to configure any environment variables in the case of Mac. And moreover, so here you can see some are lowercase and some are uppercase. Windows is case insensitive, not case sensitive. So that's not a big deal. So you need to copy path one by one. Search for ANV. You can see add the system environment variables. You can see and click on this button environment variables. And here you can see path. Not just here you can see another path also, right? If at all you haven't, it doesn't show up here, you need to scroll down a bit so that you can see a path over here. This is user specific. This is system wide. System wide in the sense it doesn't, irrespective of how many users you have it in your machine, this is going to apply for all the users. Whereas this one is the user that you have logged in. So it's always better to, configure in both these paths. So double click on this path once you select it. And then you need to click on new and then paste the path that you have copied. You do it one by one, not all as one bunch, right? So then new and then paste, and then new and then paste. You need to copy all the 5 paths. In my case, I already added here. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So I'm going to delete these 3 paths that I have added just now because I've already been here. Right? So click on OK. Click on this path again, this one. We have done this part, right? So here we need to do it. So again, new copy paste. Yeah, go ahead.
Damodar, sorry. So what I mean, I'm using a Mac. I installed it, and I heard that you said I don't need to do anything on the Mac side. Is there a specific reason that we don't need to do on the Mac?
So everything will be under applications in the case of Mac.
Okay.
So by default, if at all you try to open any software, that's going to get search in applications folder.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in Windows, you can install it anywhere you want.
Okay.
So Windows has this, environment variables concept.
Okay.
Even in Linux, you have the same concept, but in Mac, it's all going to sit in the application folder,
Okay.
right? So that is the key difference. So if we can install anywhere we want, then how
Mm-hmm.
come the Windows knows that this particular exists or not? So we
Okay.
need to configure these environment variables in environment variable window.
Thank you.
So we need to copy this path one by one again, all the 5 paths right here, by whatever we did previously here. And then once you have done, you can see that I have added all the 5 paths, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Click on OK. Click on OK again. Click on OK. And then Windows users need to restart your machine. Mac users, as you haven't configured any environment variables, you don't require to restart. Okay. Windows users, you have to restart your machine so that the environment variables will get persisted. So any questions in the installation part? I'll share this file also in the chat at the end of the session. Right? So those who haven't copied the environment variables, I request you to copy if you are a Windows user. It is in chat. And save it notepad. And moreover, whatever the files we share, we're going to share it through Google Classroom. Let me show you. For example, let me. So we're going to share files in this manner, right? So invitation link will be sent to your WhatsApp number. So I will I will send a direct message to you. So you need to click on that. Prior to that, make sure you use Google Chrome and log in with the same email ID that you shared to us, right? So once you log into the same email ID and then go to classroom.google.com, classroom.google.com, then you can click any of the sections. In the sense, like you're not going to get all the files right on the day one. So whatever the files that are required, so I'm going to upload it to Google Classroom. Because the files need to be updated frequently when and then it's necessary. So I'm going to update, when and then a session happens on that particular topic. So when you click on this section, let's take Python zip, right click on it. Don't click on that directly. So right click on it, open link in new tab, and then you can see a download option here. If it doesn't appear, go to files, and then you can see a download over here, right? Click on download. And make sure you save all the files or the content or any message that I type in chat in a common folder. It is always better to have a dedicated drive. So at least you need to have 300 to 500 gigs of free space. By the end of the course, it will take, including the models and all, it will take around 300 to 500 gigs. If you directly click on this, the problem is that you don't get the download option. You can see that, right? And even in file, you don't see the download option. So it's always better to right click, open link in new tab, and then you will start finding the download options, whether it is zip file, or PDF, or text file, or whatever, the same logic. Okay, so we have completed the Anaconda part, right?
Hey Damodar, one basic question, right?
Yeah,
So in how many days we are continuing this Python session?
as I told you, it's going to take usually 3 hours, right? 2.5, 3 hours session. This is so roughly
Okay.
around 4 to 5 sessions.
4 to 5 session only on Python?
Yeah, only on Python.
Okay, got it. Thank you. So when we are going on that AI, then
AI part again, so maths and statistics will again need to take a week, usually if it is 1 hour per day on weekdays.
okay,
So it could be 2 sessions, 2 to 3 sessions. And
okay,
then we will start machine learning, and then deep
okay,
learning, and then generative AI. So
okay,
overall, it's going to take 3 months. So
okay,
that's how it is.
okay. Generative AI maybe start after 5, 6 sessions. You mean to say?
Not 5 to 6 sessions because mathematics and statistics will take 2 to 3 sessions, right?
Okay,
Machine learning will take 3 sessions.
okay,
And then deep learning will take another 3 sessions, maybe 4 sessions.
got it.
And then generative AI.
So the generative AI, how many sessions?
The remaining part is going to be generative AI. So we keep on updating the curriculum, so it's difficult to
Okay,
say how long it
thank you,
takes. Yeah.
thank you. Appreciate your help.
Okay, so we have completed the Anaconda part, right? So in real world scenario, real world projects, we are going to see UV package manager, not PIP, something that you'll come across in generative AI. Regular sessions, I mean to say, whether it's machine learning, maths, deep learning, and all, we are going to use the PIP package manager itself. PIP package manager is like, there is a standard rule that in IT, don't reinvent the wheel, right? Suppose you need some statistical related functions or classes, or methods, whatever, related to statistics. Again, you don't require to write code from scratch. I mean, say you don't require to write code with Python, for Python, I mean to say. So you have a lot of libraries like, statistics library or SciPy or Pandas. There are many libraries that are, pre-built with these statistical methods. So you can use those methods. Anaconda comes with not just Python, it comes with pip package manager, wherein if you go open the terminal and if you need any library to get installed, pip install, let's take ML extend. ML extend is one of the libraries. Pip install library name and it will get installed automatically. It get download and then install in your machine. By default, it's going to be in base virtual environment. So we'll discuss we'll discuss in detail about virtual environments later once we get into generative AI. For now, stick to same base virtual environment. You can create your own customized virtual environments also. For now, stick to the base. And if at all you get any error like no module name, and then pip install that particular module name. That's all you have to do. Right? The pip package manager will help you to install any libraries you want, Python packages or libraries. So Anaconda comes with Python plus pip, and then it comes with basic packages also. I mean, basic libraries also pre-installed. Some of the libraries, basic libraries, you don't require to install it. The other alternative is, if at all you haven't preferred Anaconda, then you need to go to Python official website, download Python. So if you download this Python, it comes with Python plus pip package manager. Apart from it, you're not going to get any basic libraries, right? And moreover, you don't get any IDs also. So here in this case, we get Jupyter Notebook, and the other alternative is Spider. There is another one called Spider. We're not using Spider anymore. Instead, we prefer Visual Code. So you can see this is very much similar to this one, Visual Code, but not as robust as Visual Code. You can consider this as a legacy IDE, legacy tool. So in this case, initially we will start with Jupyter Notebook, which is a web-based IDE. We can open it in web browser, right? So these are all things that you get with Anaconda. Something that we have already downloaded and installed. Okay. Now I will share Python files also. Once you unzip it, you are going to get kind of files like this with extension IPYNB, IPython notebook. The original name of Jupyter Notebook is IPython Notebook. Then they changed the name from Python Notebook to Jupyter Notebook. The reason is that initially it supported only Python. Later they started, adding support to various other languages, JavaScript, Ruby, whatever. I think they support some 20 plus programming languages. So they changed that name from IPython Notebook to Jupyter Notebook, but the extension is still there, IPYNB, because they don't want to break the old files, right, legacy files. So once you have, I will share the python.zip file. So once you unzip it, you can file like this. You can find files like this, and then you need to right click on, empty space, like right click and then open terminal. By default, as this is only for Windows users, not for Mac. You can use the normal terminal. By default in Windows, you get the legacy PowerShell. I mean the old PowerShell tool, not the latest one. You can see that this is the latest one, 7.6.4, which comes with black icon. You can see that, right? Whereas the old one comes with the blue icon. You can see that. So PowerShell newer version is much more advanced than older version. So request you to install PowerShell 7. Let me explain you that. So Mac users don't require to install any terminal. PowerShell 7, search for PowerShell 7. You can see that install PowerShell 7 on Windows, right? Click on that. Let me share the Anaconda's site also. Chat. Here you have that, your Anaconda, and then PowerShell 7 link also. Bookmark it, create a folder. Those who don't know how to create a folder, right click on this browser, click on add folder. Let me test folder, right? Click on bookmark bar, click on save. It will get reflected right here. So I have too many, so obviously let me you can see a folder here, right? Then you can click on this bookmark and then click on bookmark, select the folder you want, click done. That is how you can save all the URLs in one common folder. You can see the web page reflects here, right? And then let me show you this one too. So bookmark, click on this bookmark. The test folder is already selected, or whatever the name that you have given, right? You need to select that particular folder and then click done. Now you can see another page added to this. So here, once you open this PowerShell 7 URL, here you can see MSA package, right? Second one. WinJet, not WinJet. So you need to go with the MSA package. Click on that. Here you can see two options. One is PowerShell 7.6.5, which is the latest version, but I installed 7.6.4 a while ago. So I mean to say a week ago. Windows 64 and Windows 64 ARM processor. So those who have this label ARM on your laptop or desktop, ARM specific processors. Basically, ARM processors are more power efficient compared to the regular one. So if you have this ARM, go with this one. If you haven't seen any such logo, go with this one. Or else you can need to check the complete configuration of your system. So it's always better to check your system configuration, what kind of processor you have. Based on that, you need to select one of this. So I go with this one. Again, right click, open when done. So automatically pops up once it gets completed. Here you can see that window being popped up, right? Click on next. Click on next. Again, click on. So make sure you check these boxes if at all this having. You may have a different set of settings, right? Check these three and the last two. Next. Next. Install. A pop-up may appear in Windows. User account control kind of. So click yes. Close the application. So I have opened a couple of terminals, right? So it's asking me to close it so that it will get updated to the newer version. You can see finish, right? So once you have completed the installation, so you need to open the terminal. Again, check for PowerShell, or else search for terminal, right? Open the terminal. Even after installing PowerShell 7, it still comes with the Windows blue icon, which is an older version. So in my case, I got the newer one because I already configured it. In your case, if it still appears the blue icon with blue icon, then you need to click on this drop down. Next to plus button, you can see that drop down, right? Click on the terminal that you want. In this case, this one, PowerShell. Maybe click on settings and then check this PowerShell 7 instead of this one. By default, this may get selected. So you need to change to this PowerShell 7, black icon. Select this and then click on save. That's all. You need to close the settings, right? You can see the new version 7.65, 6.5 appears. It's better to right click on this window, the blank space, right click, open terminal. That is one of the ways to open the terminal. The other way is copy the path, search for terminal here in Windows, open it. By default, it will be in this path, see users and whatever the username that you have. So you need to change this path, cd space path that I already copied. Just you need to right click on it, so it will get pasted. Copy and then cd space right click. Enter. You can see now it has been changed to the path that you want, wherever you have these files. And then Jupyter space notebook. That is the command that you have to enter. Jupyter, if you look at this, JUPY, it is not JUP, it is not I, it is Y. So JUPYTR notebook, space notebook. Let me copy the command.
Damodar,
Yeah.
did you also share those files, the basic oops, those
The
was it
Python
part of?
files, right?
Yeah,
These files, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I will share it. At the end of the session.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, Anaconda installation PDF and this one.
Okay.
So I will share it in chat for today.
Okay.
Next session onwards, I will share it to Google Classroom. So you have to enroll in order to continue.
Got you, got you. But for now, if I want to change it to the path that you are specifying, I need to have any, I mean, right now I don't need them, right? For this class, do I need them?
The environment variables, right?
No.
Which path you're speaking?
No. I think the path that you mentioned in the terminal just now, you specified this basic oops path that you just shared, right? So for now, for us, I don't think we have this folder because you will be sharing it at the end.
Yeah, but the folder name may not be the same. So
Okay.
it will be Python. So in my
Oh,
case, I have written it as Python OS because I have several other Python files.
okay.
So you need to right click on the blank space and open terminal. I think the same case for Mac users also. So you know how to open terminal in the same folder, right? Wherever you have the files. So you need to follow the same procedure. If at all, in Windows case, the alternative is copy the path, search for terminal, and then cd space the path, whichever the path that you want to prefer, and then Jupyter space notebook. That's the shortcut you have to enter.
So my understanding is, so I just create a Python folder on my system and open the terminal from there. That's all, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's all.
Okay, sounds good.
And open terminal, and then you need to enter the command Jupyter space notebook. So once you enter this, it will open a web-based page, web-based, I mean to say, IDE. If at all this web page didn't open automatically on its own, then you need to maximize this terminal. You can see localhost 888, right? 127.0.0.1. So you need to click on, you need to hold the control key and then press left click, you need to click left click on this URL. That will automatically open it in browser. Or else the other way to is copy the path, right? Select this, right click to get copy, and then open a new tab, paste it, Control V, enter. Okay. Those are the ways to open this IDE. So then you need to simply click on any of these notebooks. You simply call it as notebook instead of Python notebook. Left click in order to open the existing file. So all the notes been given, whatever I'm about to explain. So all the notes is well built, so you don't require to create your own notes, right? And if at all you want to follow along the video, you can see on the top right corner, new button. Click on that. Click on Python 3 IPY kernel. So you will see only this option. Apart from it, terminal console and all will be there. You're not going to see these two environments. These are my own customized environments. So you need to click on this Python 3 kernel. So you don't require to create any of this. You need to simply click on Python 3 IPY kernel. This will open a brand new notebook with untitled. So you need to change the title. So left click on this title and then change the name. Make sure it won't conflict with any other file name, right? Just like my notebook, it still shows untitled because I have another file with my underscore notebook. So it should not conflict with this with the existing file in that particular folder. So let me give my notebook 99 some unique name. You can see now it has been changed to my notebook 99. So this is how you can change the title. And here the block that you can see, this is code block. You can see code over here. There's a drop down too. So Markdown is for documentation or adding titles or headings or subheadings. For this stuff, you're going to use Markdown cell. For most of the cases, like you're going to see code cell, wherein you can write the code. I'll explain about Markdown cell too, short while. So here, let's take 2 plus 3, simple mathematical expression, right? There are two ways to execute it. One is hold control key and then enter. The other one is hold the shift key and then enter. In Mac, I think it is command or some other, right? So let me, MacBook keyboard. it will be different. It's not control or shift.
I think
It
it's
is command and option. Command
Yeah.
and option. Option, instead of shift, use option.
Okay.
Instead of control, use command.
Okay.
Maybe you have the control also, right? So you can try with control. If it doesn't work, use command. There are two ways to execute the code cell. One is control enter, the other one is shift enter. The difference is, let me try control enter. I'm holding control key now, pressing enter. It got executed and showing the output 5. And the focus is on the top of the code block. It has not moved to any other block, right? So if you want to execute the code block and want to have focus on the same code block, you need to use control enter. Let me show you what will happen if I press shift enter. That means 2 plus 4. Right? Shift enter. I'm holding shift key and pressing enter. So now you can see the output is 6. And it has been moved to the next cell. In fact, there was no cell after this. It has created a new code block automatically, right? So now let me enter 2 plus 5. Now I'm going to press shift enter. It has moved to the next cell. If at all it doesn't exist, if there is no other cell next to this one, the one that you're going to execute, shift enter will create a new one after executing this. If at all there is another cell already exists, then it will simply move to the next one. That's all. Control enter, if you want to repetitively execute the same block, then you can use control enter. There are some cases wherein you want to re-execute the same code block again and again. Then you have to use control. In most of the case, you need to use shift enter. Okay, that is the way to execute. And if at all the cell focus right now, the cursor focus is right within the code block, right? If you press escape, it will be switched to the top of the block. I mean, it's on the block. So there is a difference between having focus inside the block and on the block, because there are certain commands like escape A, escape B, escape M, escape Y, escape GD. All these commands require focus on the block, not inside the block. If it's already on the block, then you don't require to press escape. Escape, you need to press escape only to have focus on the block. You can see I pressed escape and it's on the block, right? Now we will discuss the shortcuts one by one. So if you press A, right, it will create a new cell right on the top of this one. It won't disturb the existing one. It will simply create a new cell right on top of the existing one, the current one. Escape, it's already on the block, so I don't require to press escape. A. When I press A, A is not case sensitive. Whether it is small or upper, it's going to create a new one. You can see, let me create a few more. A. So it's going to keep on creating a new cell right on the current one that so when you're about to press this command. In order to delete this, again, cell focus is right within the block, so inside the block. So in order to switch to the top of the block, escape. DD, press D twice. In fact, it got deleted. Now I know to press escape, so simply DD, because it's already on the block file. I hope you got the difference between these two commands. Understood these two commands, escape A and escape DD. A is to create a new cell right on the current one, on top of the current one. DD is to delete the block. Whether it's a markdown block or core block, it's going to be same command to delete the block. And escape B is to to create a new block right within, right under the current one. Let me write some just 4 plus 8. Escape B. You can see when I press B, a new cell keep on getting created, right? So in order to delete it, B, DD again. That is B, above the current one, and so it's below the current one. And escape M and Y out basically to switch between code block to markdown block. You can go to this drop down and switch to markdown to code or code to markdown, but it's always better to remember the shortcuts. So if right now this is code block, right? In order to switch from code block to markdown, you need to press escape B. Right now it's inside the focus is inside the block, so escape and then M. You can see now you don't see the square brackets, and moreover you can see markdown over here. So markdown is only for documentation or to add headings and all. Let me show you the first level of heading. So heading 1. You need to use hash space and then the name, right? You can see the heading appears now. There are 6 types of headings, 6 levels of headings. Heading 2, heading 3, six levels of heading. Even if you try the 7th level, so it will be considered as a simple text. You can see these headings. There should be only one main heading, that is one hash heading. The remaining all should be subheadings and subheading kind of. For normal text, you can simply write without any thing being added to this. So let's take this is a generative AI course. You can see text appears. Right. So let's take this includes machine learning and deep learning. Now, if I enter, you can see that it all appears in the same line. Because there are 2 ways to have this sentence in new line. One is break. The other one, let me show you this. You can see it appears in the new line instead of the same line. The other way is leave one line space, right? And then enter. You can see it appears in the new line. So it's quite easy to have one line space left after any paragraph or sentence, so that you can add another paragraph or another chunk of text. There's another, and you can even add bullet points also. Let me show you. Dash, let's take option 1, dash or hyphen, right? Or minus, same command. And then when I press enter, it automatically adds this dash. So I don't require to manually type it. So only initially you need to add it, and then it will keep on appearing. I don't require it now, so I'm going to click on backspace. Shift, you can see the bullet points. You can even add sub bullet points also. For example, enter. By default, it's going to add a dash over here, backspace, and then add dash here. In order to have sub bullet points under option 1. Option 1 to option 1, 3. You can have any number, any number. You can nest those bullet points to any level. There is no such limit. Usually, whenever you go with nesting, the rule of thumb is 32 levels. Don't go beyond it, because it will kill the readability. There's JSON or YAML, same logic, XML. So whenever you go with nesting, don't go beyond 32, or some says 23 or whatever. Right? So any questions on these shortcuts? Initially, you will find difficult to remember these shortcuts, but stick to these shortcuts so that it is going to be very helpful. Even Visual Code, you can use the same shortcuts as long as you stick to Jupyter Notebook. You can open Jupyter Notebook, the same Jupyter Notebook in Visual Code also. Let me show you this. So Visual Code, but it requires a virtual environment, or you can stick to basic environment also. Or something, don't go with Visual Code. I mean, my advice is don't go with Visual Code for now. I will explain it after a few sessions, maybe 4 or 5 sessions. Okay. You can open the same Jupyter notebook right here too. But you need to select the kernel if at all it's all been not been selected. There are few libraries you need in addition to the regular web-based IDE. So you need to install those libraries also. Initially, you will find difficult to go with Visual Code. Stick to the one that I explained. Okay. It is 10:04 now. We'll take 5 minutes break. Then we'll continue. So any questions till now? Whatever the concept that we discussed so far? How to install Anaconda, configure environment variables for Windows users, how to open Jupyter Notebook, and how to create a new notebook, or how to open an existing one, and the shortcuts in the Jupyter Notebook whenever you're about to write code or execute code. It's already been there. Any questions?
I think when it comes to Mac, Damodar, it's a little different. So I definitely opened the browser, but then I think
Do
I
one
had,
thing.
yeah.
I will copy the shortcuts,
Okay.
and you can ask ChatGPT to show the alternative. I mean to say alternative for Mac.
Yeah. Sounds good.
That will be.
Yeah, and I think even for the initial file, I need to change it as IPYNB or something like that. So looks like it's different. I can't directly open the file there. I had to rename it as IPYNB, but then I face some error saying that it's not. It can't do something. So I need to figure that one out.
Okay, yeah, you can share your screen so that I can have a look at it.
Sure, I can do that. Let me know when you are able to see my screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen now.
All right. Here. Yeah.
I mean, share those files yet, right? So
Yeah.
let me share those files.
So when
so
I
you can
open,
directly,
yeah.
I will share those files so that you can directly access those files.
Okay.
I think the confusion is with creating a new notebook on your own.
Right.
Without using ID.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. Copy the Python path and download it. The Google Drive link. The other one is installation part, right? Anaconda. Okay, there are two links that I copied. One is for Python. Another one is for Anaconda installation picture, which is a PDF.
Okay.
The first one is zip file. Click on download. Go to Python zip. The other tab that you have. Yeah. Click on top left corner.
I think I downloaded that one. Is it 3.4 MB or is it more?
Yeah. I don't know the size of it. I think it's the same file. Yeah. Unzip it. Right. So now you need to right click on the top, right click
just
on
a
the
sec.
path.
Downloads, right? Okay. Yeah. And I think I need to copy this one to my main folder, correct?
Close this Control C, press Control C to close that connection.
Okay.
In terminal.
Control C or Command C. I think I just need to close this one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Command C.
Okay.
And terminal you already copied, right? No.
Um,
Wait. Go to the folder where you have this zip files. Python
okay.
zip
So,
Python.
yeah. Let me do that. So this is where it is, and I'm going to paste it here.
Not this one. No, don't paste it. So you already
Okay.
have the folder, right? Have a dedicated folder itself.
Yeah.
Instead of
That's yeah.
okay,
So
fine.
that's what it's there in my downloads, and I'm just moving it to this particular folder. So it's okay. So it's a dedicated folder now, and okay. Now you want me
Right click.
to
Yeah. So I think it's better to go directly to inside this Python folder instead of Anaconda Python.
okay.
Open the folder directly.
Okay. I'm inside the folder.
Basically in Windows, with Mac Windows, yeah, right. Double click on it.
Python basics. Okay.
Yeah, now you can right click on blank space, open terminal, a
I think
bit away from it. So yeah, right. You don't get the terminal option.
no. Generally, we have to go from here. So when I open the terminal,
Press
so
Control C now to close that connection.
Control C.
On the commands,
Yes.
yeah, yes. Why? Okay, now are you sure that you are in the same path where you have these files?
So I need to what to say, navigate to that path. So
Okay, so you can switch to that.
okay, I think the Word document.
I think you have the option, right? Click on the folder. No, go to the folder. Go to the folder. You don't require to do this.
Okay.
Go to the folder.
Okay.
Go to go to the parent one, the Python basics. Right
Okay.
click on Python basics. You should have an option open terminal.
New terminal at folder. That's what
Yeah,
it is, right?
right.
Okay.
Now you got into that path, right? Now enter Jupyter Space Notebook.
Okay.
So this is the way to open it. So when you left click on any of the files, it will open at a new tab,
Okay.
the existing notes. If you want to open a new notebook, right? So go back to that previous tab. Home. Click on home.
Yeah.
No. I'm speaking about the Google Chrome home tab. Yeah. Maximize that. You can see that a top right corner.
I think this one I have to close. Give me one.
Yeah,
Here.
right.
Sorry. Okay.
I think you close that one, right?
Yeah.
So open, re-execute that one. Jupyter Space Notebook.
Okay. Now it is home. Okay.
Maximize that window. Yeah, right. So on top right corner, you can find new button, new drop down. So click on Python 3 kernel if you want to open a new notebook.
Okay.
Okay, so
And
the remaining all you need to follow along the video. So
okay,
session
2 plus
recording will be
3.
available.
Okay. Okay.
No,
Awesome.
you don't,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
fine. So take 5 minutes break.
Yeah.
We'll continue.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Those who haven't downloaded the files, request you to download it. It's available in chat with Google Drive links. One is this one for Python. This one is for Anaconda. Right? So it's 10:13 now. So we'll start back at 10:18 a.m. IST. Is everyone available? So Raja, Bharat, and Chirag.
Yes.
What about Raja, Bharat?
Available.
Yeah. So one command that I forgot to explain is a control slash, which is a shortcut to add comments. For example, there are two ways to if you use hash in Markdown cell, the meaning of that is totally different. It is for adding titles, right? Headings. Whereas in code block, hash is nothing but comment. Okay, addition, operation. So that's a typical way to write a comment in Python. It starts with special character hash. So if it is a command like this, then you don't have an option. You can't use the shortcut, to comment out that. Even if you try to select this part, the whole line will get commented when you use the shortcut, control slash. So it's always better to write it manually. I mean, so you need to use the hash and then write the remaining part. If it is a regular line, for example, so this is generative AI course. A text like this in code block will throw an error, it is syntax error. So this could be a comment. So in that case, you can place cursor anywhere in that line, control slash. The whole line will get commented. Even for uncomment, the same command, control slash. 1 second. All right. So you can use control slash to comment the whole line, right? And if you have multiple lines, for example, let me uncomment this. Let's take this is ML. This includes ML. This includes VLR. So you need to select only those sentences that you want to comment and control slash. That is the way to comment multiple lines in Python. Okay. So you don't have any way of commenting multiple lines with single command, for example, slash, asterisk kind of stuff. There are a few programming languages that supports this, wherein you can comment multiple lines. So you can't comment like that. So you need to use hash. There are little strings, but we'll discuss about little strings later. For now, stick to this one. So control slash is the way to comment it. Right? I think I copied all the shortcuts. Let me recopy this again. Yeah, I copied all those shortcuts. Now we will move on to Python basics. So as I told you that you already have all the notes, so you don't require to prepare your own notes. But it's always better to follow along the video by opening a new notebook. So open a new notebook and start, practicing whatever the topic that we discuss. Same example or a different kind of different exam altogether on your own. So in my case, I'm going to use these 3 files, which has a list of the topics that I have. I'm about to discuss. So I'll take each topic and write a command right in the block itself with whatever the example that I feel right. So that I know you'll get a good understanding of any of this concept that I mentioned here. So we'll start with operators. In this case, we have multiple operators like any other programming language: arithmetic, comparison, logical, bitwise assignment, special operators. We don't require bitwise operators in detail. And moreover, there are certain bitwise operators like AND, OR, NAND, and XOR. We're going to discuss these gates in deep learning. So you don't require the bitwise operators. So I'm going to skip this particular part. But you have the nodes of bitwise operators. Either you can explore this one or completely skip it. So it's not going to be of any help in the case of, in terms of generative AI. And the operators that are necessary, I mean, the bitwise operators and or NAND and XOR, anyway, we're going to have a detailed discussion in deep learning. So we don't require to repeat the same topic again here. So we'll start with arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators include addition, subtraction, division, float division, modulo, multiplication, and power of. Right? You might have heard all the operators except float division and modulo if you are completely new to Python. Right? So we'll start with addition. Let's take, I'm going to use a variable called x, wherein I'm going to assign 5, and y equal to 3. We have 2 variables. Equal to is an assignment operator. If you want to assign a value in a variable, then you're going to use equal to. In fact, we have a list of assignment operators where you can see equal to, plus equal to, minus equal to, right? We'll discuss those later. For now, we need a variable. So I'm going to use this one, assignment operator. I'm going to assign 5 in x and 3 in y. So you can see x and y. By default, Jupyter comes with its own print. You can see when I press x, you can the output is 5, right? The other better alternative is use exclusive print.
The mother use. So if I get that Python directly instead of Jupyter, do I need to do that print separately to see that value?
Yes, you need to use you need to use print explicitly. Otherwise, it's not going to reflect the variable. Better not to use any terminal or command-based interfaces.
Okay.
I would say in terminal also you can go with Python.
Okay.
Python. Then simply press Python. Then let's take x equal to 5. You can see now it prints. There are certain command line interface that shows the output. Certain not. But in some case, you need to explicitly write print.
Okay.
The reason is that it's not going to get interpreted properly, especially in the case of text.
Okay.
So it's always better to go with this one. Yeah. Go ahead.
So it's good practice to always use print, even though. Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Even though that particular ID supports it.
Okay.
Has its own default one. But if it is related text, I explicitly use print. But for normal stuff, I can simply type this one. Okay, so now I have x and y. So 1 second. Sorry. X plus y, which is going to be x is 5, right? So 5 plus y is 3. So 5 plus 3 is going to be 8. Now you can see the result is 8. Same way we have subtraction operator. 5 minus 3 is 2. So it has supposed to be 2 and we got 2. Same way we have multiplication. X multiplied asterisk is the operator that you're going to use. So 5 multiplied by 3 is going to be 15. Now you can see 15. And we have division also. X divided by slash y. So let me explain this one. For example, let's take 5, right? Divided by 3 is going to be 3, 5, 3 ones, 3, 2 is the reminder, right?
Right.
So this is a reminder. Whereas this is quotient. The slash, which is division, gives the quotient part. So slash, by default, the division will return float value, which comes with decimals. So we need to add period also, dot, and then you need to add 0 here. 3, 6, 18. So again, you get reminder 2. Again, 3, 6, 18, right?
Yeah.
Again, you get reminder 2. So it's going to keep on going. So in mathematics, if it is typically repetitive decimal, right, we write something like 1.6 bar. Or else we can round off after certain, decimals. So in this case, you get 1.666, and at the end it has been rounded off. Most probably it could be 5x. So int, it is not showing up the number of bits that it utilize. So maybe x divided by y. It is float, but it's not showing the number of bits that it has taken. It could be 32 or 16. That is the reason it has been rounded off at the end here. If it is much bigger size, much bigger bit level, obviously it's going to show more decimals, more number of decimals. In this case, it's been rounded off at the end. And if you need the remainder part, right, the 2 part, then you need to use modulo operator, x modulo y. So percentage is the modulo operator. You can see we got the remainder 2. Okay, this is the way to get the remainder, whereas this is the way to get the quotient part. By default, it's going to return float, so you can expect decimals. There is another alternative for division, which is float division. Before we get into float division, we need to understand what is float, and there is another thing called seal. Float and seal. You know how to round a number, right? For example, if it is 5.6, after rounding the number, we get 6, because anything 0.5 or anything above 0.5, it will be next number 5 plus 1, 6. If it is anything below 0.5, for example, let's take 5.4, then it's going to be 5 without decimal. That is how we rounded the number. If it is floor, let's take 5.6. The floor value is going to be without decimal part. That is 5. For example, if it is 4.9 without decimal part, that is 4. Let's take the value is 3.2. The floor value of 3.2 is without decimal part. That is 3. As simple as that. So in order to round the number, just remove the decimal part, and whatever the value that you get, you can see that is going to be the floor value. Seal value is going to be, for example, if it is 5.2 without decimal plus 1. That is 5 plus 1 is going to be 6. For example, if it is 7.9 without decimal plus 1, that is 7 plus 1 is going to be 8. That is going to be seal value. So in this case, floor division is nothing but applying floor on the division output. So what do you think we will get when we apply floor to this particular value? Exactly.
1.
So floor division is going to be double slash. You should not add any space in between these 2 slashes. It will throw a syntax error. There should not be any space in between these 2 slashes. You can have space right here or right here, only for readability. Even if you don't add any space here, it's absolutely fine. But it's always better to have no space between the operands, which are a, x, and y, and the operator. Now you can see 1 because the when you apply floor to this value, you get 1. So we got 1. That is floor division. Go ahead.
Can we apply seal also same way?
We can apply seal, but you need, there is no function directly here. So you need to use NumPy or math library. Math seal 5 let's take 9. I get C. But there is no, there's no such version like seal division.
Okay.
It's just floor division and division.
Okay.
But you can round it, you can apply round. Again, I think you need an additional library. Round is not directly available.
Okay.
Yeah, round is available. Yeah, round is available. You can see round is available straight away.
Okay.
You can directly use it. Even in math, there should be a round. No, there is no round in math. So if you want to import any library, import library name.
Okay. And if I need to get some libraries which are available in the internet, do I need to copy those libraries to the same folder so that it can get that information?
No. So make sure you switch to the right virtual environment. In this case, stick to the base virtual environment. And then pip install that particular library name. For example, if it is a math library, which is already installed in this case,
Okay.
Python search for math, pip, search, mention pip.
Okay.
Then you can see the exact name for that particular package, Python math. You have to copy that and paste it in terminal.
Okay.
So this is the way to use it. Otherwise, you need to download it from the respective website and then install it, which is not the case for any package manager. Even same rule applies for JavaScript too.
Okay.
Right? NPM they provide. And NPM you can utilize and straight away you can download. So if it is it's already downloaded, it's going to install. If it's not downloaded, it will get downloaded and install on its own.
Okay.
In this case, it says the requirement already satisfied because the package is already available in this case. So, right. So then this part has been completed except power off. Power off is like, for example, let's take 5 square. Right? The way we can write power is 5 double asterisk 2. There should not be any space in between these two. Let's take 5 square. Let's take 4 cube. So the way we write 4 cube is 4 the power 3. If you want to get, let's take square root of 16, right? Then it's going to be 16 double asterisk 0.5 or alternatively 1/2 in round brackets to be in a safe side. Because round brackets or parentheses will have high precedence. So either of these methods. So 16 1/2 or straight away 0.5 to get square root. The other alternative is there are a lot of libraries that support square root. Import math and then math dot square root. You can see square root, right? 16. So you get the same result. This improves readability, especially those who read code from non-Python background. But if you're technically good enough, so you can use double asterisk to get power. Right?
Yeah.
So we have completed arithmetic operators. Any questions on arithmetic operators? We'll have detailed discussion on math library also in a short while. So once we complete these operators. So the next one is comparison operators. Comparison operators always compares one to another. It always yields Boolean result. Or simply we call it as bool. Bool, it could be true or false. Python, even though Windows is case sensitive, Python is case sensitive. So x equal to 5 and capital X equal to 5 are both not one and the same. For example, let's take X equal to capital X equal to 3 plus X is 5 and capital X is 3. In the case of insensitiveness, like it will not differentiate from small x to capital X or lowercase to uppercase. Python is by default case sensitive. So if you want to create a Boolean variable, right? For example, X equal to, then it has to be capital T, uppercase. The remaining letter should be small case. If you want to check data type of it, you can use type function. You can see it's bool. Bool stands for Boolean. If it is small t, it immediately throws an error because it expects that true is a variable, but something that we haven't declared at all. We haven't declared or we haven't assigned any value to it. So it will be considered as a variable which is not being declared. So it immediately says the true is not defined. So Python is case sensitive, right? And type is a function to check the data type of any variable or an object. I'm going to create, let's take X equal to 5, Y equal to 3, which are normal variables. And I'm going to apply these comparison operators. X is greater than Y, right? Let's take X, in this case, it is 5, greater than Y is 3. So 5 is definitely greater than 3. So it's going to be true. It has written true. Yeah, it has written true. There is another version for equal to, which is greater than equal to, greater than or equal to, right? X is greater than or equal to Y. The full form of this is, in fact, shortcut greater than or equal to, which shortcut for is greater than Y or X equal to Y. When we say equal to, we are comparing. So when we want to compare two values, whether it's equal or not, then we need to use double equal to, because single equal to is already been assigned, right? It is an assignment operator to assign a value to a variable. So for comparison, we have double equal to. Unlike JavaScript, we're not going to have any triple equal to version. So triple equal to, which is a way to check whether it is equal or not in JavaScript. There are two versions, double equal to and triple equal to. Right? Double equal to automatically converts the variable type from one to another. So it's highly prone to errors. Whereas triple equal to does not convert the data type. Sorry, it is not triple equal to. Triple equal does not convert data type in JavaScript. So that is the reason we use triple equal to. Okay. So in this case, the full form of X greater than or equal to is X greater than Y or X equal to Y. So it's going to be 5 greater than 3 or 5 equal to 3. So 5 greater than 3, which is true, or 5 equal to 3, which is false, right? So whenever you have this or, doesn't matter how many false you have. Even if you have one true in the whole stuff, it's going to be true, unless everything is false. Suppose everything is false, then obviously this is going to be false. In the case of AND, it's totally different. Here, it doesn't matter how many true you have. Even if you have one false anywhere in between or the start at the end, doesn't matter where it is, it's going to be false. So in this case, it is true or false. Even if you have one true, in the case of OR, it's going to be true. So it's going to return true. And we have less than also here. So X is less than Y. 5 is less than 3, which is false. So it's going to return false. And we have less than, similar to greater than equal to, we have less than equal to. So the expression is going to be X is 5 less than 3 or 5 equal to 3. 5 is less than 3, which is false, because 5 is not less than 3, or 5 equal to 3, which is again false. Even in the case of OR, if everything is false, then it's going to be false, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can see that it has written false. And equal to, anyway, we discussed about it, X equal to Y. 5 equal to 3, which is false. Unless both are same. So for example, let's take x equal to 5. True, because we have 5 assigned to x variable. But straight away checking with the value 5. So it is 5 equal to 5, which is true. So it has returned true. But whereas y, obviously it has 3 value in it. So 5 is not equal to 3. And if you want to check whether it is not equal to or not, so you need to use a combination of exclamation and equal to. In this case, 5 is not equal to 3, which is true. 5 is not equal to 3. True. Right? These are comparison operators. Any questions on comparison operators? We'll move on to logical operators. Basically, logical operators and or, we use it to combine multiple expressions. For example, we have a bunch of variables here. I have assigned some value. This is one expression, this is another expression, this is another expression. I want to combine this expression, so you can use and or. Right? So that is when we use and or. Again, it is quite, I've given an example here. Combining these and how we get this false as a result. So 3 is less than 1, which is false. 5 is less than 3, which is again false. False and false, obviously false. And 10 is greater than 5, which is true. So false or true. So we have one true here in the case of or. So it is true. Let me execute this one. Yeah, I have given. I haven't executed this one. Okay, now it is true, right? False or true. Whereas if this is and, then obviously false and true.
False.
False, right? False. So and or we can use to combine multiple expressions. Not is basically not of true is false, not of false, negation of it, right? So
Yeah.
not of false is true. So if we have a variable x equal to true and try against that particular variable, it is true. So negation of true is false. So if it is false, negation of false is true. So that's how not works. And the typical precedence is going to be parenthesis, exponent, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. Of course, nowadays, most of the code, we don't write it from scratch. So we rely on LLM. We don't really bother about this precedence anymore, because it will give a proper expression based on our requirement. So when we start writing code on our own, that is when this precedence matters. Okay, so math library. So in math library, we have assignment operators also. Okay, straight away go to math library. So in math library, we have a bunch of methods. The way we can import any library is import library name, right? If you execute any library, import after executing import library, after mentioning import library, if you execute it, and if you get an error like no module name, that means that you haven't installed that package. Again, you need to use pip install, make sure that you are in the right environment. By default, it is base environment, right? And import library name, or else the other alternative is with alias. For example, either I can go with import math, and I can mention math dot and press tab to get the complete list of methods and properties that a particular library supports. Just text yes. If I press yes, it will list out the methods or properties that starts with yes, right? This is IntelliSense, right? So I think Microsoft brought this concept initially in early 2000s with .NET framework, Visual Code. They include this feature, and then everyone start following it. The other way to import libraries with alias name, which is shortcut. For math library, documentation does not give any such thing, like any alias. So we'll go with the standard documentation. Example, let's take combination, import, there will be some import Python math module example. Yeah. Google has its own internal LLM. Import math. You by default, the documentation does not come with any alias. We go with the documentation unless it is our own customized user-defined module. So in this case, you don't require any alias, but there is a possibility that you can write your own alias name. There's nothing wrong in it. Empty dot, you can see that it will store the same methods because we are given alias name empty. Usually, if you import, the regular libraries are like this. Import NumPy as NP as per documentation. NumPy is one of the libraries for data analysis. Pandas is again another one for data analysis. PD is the standard alias name. But we can change the alias name to whatever you want. But it's better to go with as per the standard notation. So whenever you copy a code to someone else, they don't get any errors. It will be as per the standard. Right, but the alias name is completely flexible. You can change to whatever you want. So in this case, import math will stick to the same one without alias, and math dot tab will list out all the properties and methods. The other alternative to get all the properties and methods in any given module is dir, the module name. This gets math, right? So you can see dir list out all that, all the package, methods, properties, classes, or whatever it supports. We don't prefer this method. There is one exception. I will explain that later. But most of the case, we go with this one. Library name dot tab will list out all that because it can even, let's take SI, it will list out only those methods that starts with SI. And thereafter, it can be anything. So you can see SI, right? The intelligence is much better than using intelligence is much better than using DR. We'll start with the concept logarithm and exponent, which are very interesting concepts, and it's going to be widely used in AI field, not just generative AI, in AI. So, anyone has any idea about what is a logarithm and why we need to use it? What is the actual purpose of logarithm, using logarithm?
I don't know, but it's been a while.
Yeah, we used to have this logarithmic book.
Yeah.
A blue book.
Yeah.
In my days, it was 7 rupees. Right? A kind of book like this with blue cover.
Yeah.
This one we used to buy. So why we need logarithm at the first hand? Recently an earthquake has happened, right? Where was it? Colombia.
Yeah, Indonesia also this morning.
Yeah, this morning in Indonesia, 7.7 magnitude.
Yeah.
Colombia earthquake. What was the magnitude? 7.4. So Indonesia is much worse, 7.7. So when they say 7.4 or 7.7, so usually the recording is from seismograph. I forgot the exact spelling, but this is you might have seen this in a lot of movies, right?
Yeah.
Kind of pen, keep on writing on that drum. So when it says earthquake 7.4 or 7.7, I will take few examples so that you can understand it. Let's take 7.4, right? 7.7. Let's take 6.5, or let's take 5.2. These are not the actual values. These are logarithmic values. Then what are the actual values? It is math.e, which gives the exponent, right? 2.71828 1828 4590405 to the power 7.4 to the power 7.4 165. This is the actual value. And the same key is for this one too. 7.7 6.5 5.2. Now consider this as a hint. So 5.2 is the actual value is 181 and 6.5 the actual value is 665 and 7.7 is 2208 and 7.4 is 1635. Consider this as a hint. So now try to guess why we need logarithm, and you can have this as a hint also. Even if it's wrong, that's fine. You can try it.
Maybe it's to understand. I mean, it's more meaningful or readable for us.
Readable in the sense, like I didn't. Can you explain it a bit more?
I
What do you
think
mean by readability?
readability in the sense something that we can understand. The intensity of it or something like that.
Okay, what if we take these values straight away and have it on this drum? So anyway, the drum will give the visual graph, right? After all, what is the purpose of graph? Purpose of graph or plot is to easily understand the data. So if we straight away look at the data, we may not understand it. So humanly, it is impossible for us to interpret huge amount of data. Even if it is 10 records, it is not possible for us to remember it or interpret it directly. So visualization is one of the ways to visualize the data so that we can easily understand or interpret. So what do you mean by readability? So try to think more in depth. So try to take these values. What if we take these values straight away? 7.7, the difference between 7.4 and 7.7 is not much. Whereas the difference between this value, so 1635, the actual value, and 2208, which is more. So as per your explanation, the intensity, it will add more intensity when we take the actual values rather than 7.4 and 7.5.
Right.
This drum will take the logarithmic values. The visualization is straight away on the logarithmic values, not on the actual values. Why it prefer the logarithmic values than the actual values? What is the problem associated if at all you take this these values straight away? Five point two is 181, 6.5 665, 7.7 is 2208, 7.4 is 1635.
Maybe it's a huge range.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and it may not be accurate sometimes. I don't know. And
you almost got it. So you said huge range. What is the problem if I have a huge range of values and plotting it on a drum? What is the problem that you're going to face?
So I won't have enough. Let's say if I am doing that, I won't have enough paper. So maybe we are bringing that value into small blocks, something like that.
Okay, so you need a huge drum, right?
Right.
So the problem is that the data is huge, or the data is, if the data is too much, then we go with visualization to easily understand. What if the visualization itself is complex, like, or big, so that we can't right away interpret it? After all, the idea of visualization is to easily interpret the data. But if it creates the same problem in visualization, then it's better not to go with visualization at all. Or do something so that we can easily visualize it.
Yes.
Right? So that's exactly what logarithm is all about. Logarithm is all about take the value, the actual value, and give the power. To the power what? The power math.e. Why math.e? Which is 2.718 something. It could be 2 to the power, or 5 to the power, or it can be 10 to the power, or whatever.
It's the value of pi, right?
It's not pi. Pi is different.
Okay.
We have pi also. Pi is we use it in design.
Yeah.
math.t is which is exponent. Why we go with 2.78 something over what instead of 2 power or 4 power or 5 power or 10 power? The reason is, let's take that India has taken 2 to the power, right? They found they got the logarithmic value with the base 2. For example, math.log, right? Pick the value, this one. And if you go with default one, which is math.e, we get the same 7.7. You can see that, which is nothing but how much to the power e is this value. That's exactly what the output is going to be.
Okay.
So what should be the power to the e to get this value? That will be the output of 7.7. So the question is, why math.t? Why not 2? We can very much go with 2 or 4 or 5. The problem is, let's take that India has taken the base 2. We call this as base, right? By default, it is math.t. When we use math.t as the base, we call it as natural logarithm. The reason is, if India has taken the base 2, US has taken the base 10, and UK has taken base 5, and Australia has taken base 7, how do they communicate? Obviously, they communicate with their own bases. They explicitly mention that this is the base that we have taken. So you need to convert to your own base. So there is some work involved in it. Rather, what they did is the scientific standard body, they came up with this standard value so that everyone follows the same base. So whenever they communicate, they not to recalibrate it again or recalculate it again. It is straight away
like a standard. Yeah.
Standard, right?
Yep.
So that is the reason they go with this data. So when data grows exponentially, in the case of earthquake, the data grows exponentially. It is not normal. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, which is normal, sequential, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, which is sequential, or 2, 4, 6, 8, which is all sequential. 5, 10, 15, 20, which is all sequential, or 100, 200, or 300, which is all sequential.
Yeah.
Right? But if it is grows something like 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, that is not sequential. That is exponential. In this case, it is 10 power. 10 power 0 is 1. 10 power 1 is 10. 10 power square is 100. 10 cube, it is 1,000. 10 power 4 is 10,000, and so on and so forth.
Right.
So the reason why they prefer 2 or 5 or 10, obviously we can, but the standard body has come up with this idea to have a standard that everyone will follow the same. And so the communication that we get 7.4 or 7.5, you can see a huge difference, huge jump between 7.4 and 7.1635 and 2208. So even though it appears as if it is subtle difference between 7.1 and 7.7, but the actual case is not. So there will be a huge impact in terms of casualties, in terms of financial loss, right? Damages that it causes. So if you look at, and you can see the 5.0 and 7.7 may not find much difference, but 181 and 2208, a huge difference, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that is the reason we go with this exponent and logarithmic concept. So whenever you find this logarithmic concept, it means that internally it might be exponentially grown. Or maybe the data is as such that it is exponential, so they might have applied this logarithm metric.
Okay.
In some case, the logarithm metric doesn't work because the data could be sequential or may not be too much to consider it as exponential.
Okay.
The cross entropy is something that involves logarithm. Cross entropy from if at all you are expecting some metric related to generative AI. So the cross entropy is one of the techniques. Let me show you the formula. This is the formula wherein it uses this logarithm.
Okay.
There is another metric called perplexity, which is an opposite to cross entropy, which is nothing but, so what is the opposite of logarithm? So here,
exponential.
exponential, right? So E power cross entropy value is nothing but perplexity value.
Okay.
So to get back to its original values, that is what the requirement is all about.
Okay.
I hope you got the idea behind logarithm and exponent.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
So, and it's not necessary to learn every concept in math or statistics in detail. So we need to understand what is necessary to from the perspective of AI or in generative AI.
Okay.
And we will explore the remaining methods that it has.
Sure.
So, anyone else has any questions on logarithm and exponent? So math dot power POW. So you already have the core Pythonic way, right? Let's take 3e to the power 2. Same thing you can write here too, 3e to the power 2. Right? Even though it returns float, that's the only difference. But apart from it, it is the same thing. Let's take 4 square or maybe 24 square, 625. And we have square root also, math dot square root. Let's take 625. Supposed to be 25, right? Same thing we can achieve with core Python also. It's 0.5 or
1 by 2.
within brackets 1 by 2. That is one. That's a way to get this core Pythonic way and this using math module. And this improves readability. Even if a non-Python background person look at this code, at least he can understand that it is square root, right? Whereas this one, unless he knows the syntax, he may not, it is difficult to interpret. And we have floor and ceil values also. Math dot floor. We already discussed this math floor concept.
Yeah.
Right? And ceil 5.8, 6 or 5.2 also the same. Without decimal plus 1. Floor values without decimal. That's all.
Yeah.
And pi is another constant. 3.14159 something. So we have completed the math module. We'll go back to the assignment operators. So x equal to 5. We already saw this assignment operator. Equal to an assignment operator wherein we can assign a value to a variable and plus, let's take plus equal to, maybe I can use it right here. Plus equal, let's take 2. The full form is x equal to x plus 2. That is the full form of it. This is the shortcut.
Okay.
So here x is 5 plus 2, which is nothing but 7. X is 5. And we are adding 2. So whatever the value that we have it here, we need to add it. And then we supposed to get 7. We got 7. Right? Basically, we are assigning the same value to the same variable.
Yeah.
As if it is minus, let's take minus, for example, let's take 3. X equal to x minus
3. That equal to 2.
It is, so here it is not 5. The x has been changed to 7. So 7 minus 3, which is not 5 minus 3. So I have not resetted it.
Okay.
So 7 minus 3 is 4. So it's supposed to be 4. If at all I reset this variable again, it could be 2.
Okay. So there x equals to 5, right? So why is it not reset?
I have not executed this again. I have not executed this.
Got you.
So when I execute this plus equal to 2, I stick to the same variable. I have not re-executed this. If I re-execute, obviously it's going to be reset to 5.
Okay.
Because variables will be overwritten. We can overwrite it. And the next one is asterisk, right? For example, we have right now x is 4. So the full form is x multiplied by 3. So 4 multiplied by 3 is going to be 12. So the same way we go with division, maybe I try 3 itself. X divide by 3. X here is 12, or maybe I can use something else to get decimal value. Of course, it's not necessary that it has to be decimal. It has to have decimal. By default, it's going to, if it doesn't find any, doesn't have any decimal values, it's going to be 0.0. I want to try something. Maybe we'll try with 5. and this one. You can see 2.5. Right?
Yeah.
I resetted this one.
Yeah.
X equal to that. Now we'll go with modulo. So modulo, I'm going to reset this one again. Modulo, let's take equal to 2. Then it's going to be x equal to x modulo 2. 5 modulo 2, which is remainder is going to be 1, right? 2 to 4, remainder is going to be 1. So we are supposed to get 1. And the same way power of, let's take equal to 2. I'm going to reset this x equal to 5 now. So the full form is x equal to x to the power 2, 5 to the power 2, which is nothing but 25. So that's it about assignment operators.
Okay.
And then we'll move on to dynamic type. Python by default, let's take x equal to 5, right? To check type, it's going to be integer. So it's automatically assigning the data type. So why not similar to C, C++, or Java? What is the key difference? And what are the issues that we face with this? There's something called type safety.
Yeah, I think there if sometimes we have that issue, right? Yeah. Especially with if we don't declare those variables kind. Yeah.
Right. Let's take 5.2. I can assign 5.2 also. It automatically changes to float. It's dynamically typed. So based on the value, it automatically changes. What if it is a string? Automatically change to string. So what if it is a function that has to be a string or it has to be a certain data type? Python by default changes based on its value, right? Then it's going to create type safety issue. So Python does not has this type safety. Then obviously it creates some problems, right? There is a possibility that it may even lead to a security issue. Then why Python is still popular? In fact, C, it can't compare with C, C++, Java. Why do you think that Python is still popular? In fact, it is the #1 language, right? Programming languages ranking top 5. Search any website. Obviously, it comes with Python. And Python does not support polymorphism, which is another thing. So even though the features are comparatively less compared to Java or C, C++, why Python is still popular? Why it is #1 language?
More flexible and readable, maybe.
Flexible in the sense?
I mean, right now what we did, right? So you can assign anything and it understands what it is doing, right? But whereas in C, C++ or Java, we need to make sure that we declare the variables and yeah.
So okay, so that's fine. So what's wrong in declaring a variable? What's the big deal?
Is it a memory thing? It's a memory. I mean, when you declare a variable, there is certain bytes that it stores, and then you need to clear off those variables. I don't know if Python also does that, but I don't know how it does.
Right.
Yeah.
If it is memory, in fact, Python should take more space. Because if it switches from number to string or string to a much bigger value, then it does keep on switching. So it has to take more memory in that, if that is the case.
Right.
Why still Python is more popular? In fact, we can't compare with C, C++, Java.
Yeah.
Why AI uses Python? Does AI really uses Python? Any guesses?
I think maybe it's a way that we interact with. I mean, if I'm using any of the tools, the AI tools right now, user keys in anything, right? It does not need to be one or two, or they don't follow a proper normal way. Maybe that's the thing. I don't know. I'm trying.
So the thing is that Python is high-level language.
Okay.
Whereas C, C++, Java are more low-level. In fact, C,
compilers.
C++.
Okay.
So low-level language. So Low level, the problem is that it is a learning curve is too steep.
Okay.
Python is much comparatively it's quite easy compared to any other language. In my personal experience, the most easiest language is Ruby. Naturally, easiest language is Ruby. Next to that is Python. Okay, leave about Ruby. So Python is the most easiest language that anyone can learn. So now, what's the big deal in about this learning curve? Why it matters?
Definitely. I mean, it's faster, right? So when the learning
Faster in,
curve,
yeah,
productivity. I mean, end of the day, everyone wants productivity, right? You learn something and you
yeah,
start working on it, right? So
exactly. So the learning curve, if it is too steep, obviously you have less number of resources, less
okay,
number of people will learn. Whereas Python is a high-level language, we don't require to bother about memory or the underlying under the hood, whatever has happens. So we not to bother about it. So whether it's memory management or processing power, we have ways to do it in Python too. We have specific libraries for that, but we don't really need to bother about those things.
yeah,
So whatever happens under the hood, like memory processing and the remaining stuff, the low-level stuff, low-level in the sense from hardware or kernel perspective, right? It is not low-level in terms of the quality of the programming language. It is low-level in terms of how in-depth and how deep it can go. So
okay,
C++ are low-level language, whereas Python is high-level language because it's the learning curve, in order to simplify these learning curve, they came up with this Python kind of programming languages. Otherwise, we absolutely don't require Python language, Python kind of languages. We can very well manage with C++ or Java. Of course, JavaScript is totally different. So we need a specific language specific to browser. So that is the reason they came up with the JavaScript in order to make it run, in the front end. And it didn't has this backend, and they came up with Node.js. Right now we can see a lot of stacks like MERN or mean. Earlier JavaScript is only for front end, for dynamic part.
okay,
Or dynamic button click or hovering or these kind of effects or anything at the front end. If you want to do some calculation or dynamic you need some dynamic stuff, then you go with JavaScript. And then they came up with the server end, Node.js, and they came up with various other frameworks also, but didn't work much. So still Node.js is much popular.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay,
I mean,
so
I'm only I also know only about JavaScript is only for my front end. I mean, when I'm using for my web pages, if I need to do something, that's where I use JavaScript. Otherwise, I never thought that they use it at the server level.
server level now they can start using it because of Node.js.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
think someone from Google started this concept. They have taken the same general JavaScript engine. He started working on this Node.js.
Okay.
Of course, we need to add Express and various other database kind of stuff. So that
Gotcha.
makes this MERN or mean concept. Mongo, Express, React, Angular, Mongo, Express, Angular and Node.js,
Gotcha.
right? So
Okay.
MERN, this N is Node.js.
Gotcha.
Mean, okay, Python is high-level language with a certain level of compromisation. Compromise happen, especially in the case of type safety or whatever. But there are alternatives. We can use Pydantic library to bring type safety. So we not really bother about the type safety in the case of Python. We can use Pydantic and bring the type safety. We can enforce the type so that functions or API level functions or any kind of function that we use it in production that has been exposed to outside world, we can strictly enforce the type so that we can get only that particular data type inputs. Otherwise, there's a possibility that someone inject some text or some SQL code in it that will compromise the whole system. Here, by default, Python does not support any type safety. It changes based on the value that we provide. You can see we have seen integer, float, with the same variable, and string also it got the same value, right? And complex number also we can assign 2 plus 3j. In mathematics, the usual complex number pattern is going to be express yi. I.
right?
Whereas,
Yeah.
whereas in Python it is j. For some reason they have given j. So it
Okay.
has to be in this form, 2 plus 3j. It is complex. So with the same variable, I am assigning the same value. So it automatically change the data type, which is nothing but dynamic type. Now data types. So it is. We will see one example each, especially list, dictionary, tuples, and sets. We will discuss in detail. We have a separate session on that. Maybe next session.
Okay.
List you can see. We will go in detail, but I will give an example each of these data types. That includes list, dictionary, tuples, and sets, which are built-in data structures, which are object data type structures. Let's take x equal to true, right? Type is bool or false. Bool. Integer is, let's take some
1,
number.
2, 3. Yeah.
Whatever. Let's take a decimal float, something that has decimal float, right? Complex number, as I told you that 2 plus 3j, complex number. Or it could be even 0 plus, which is a complex, the same pattern. Or even if we don't mention this part, it automatically assumes that internally it has 0 plus 3j. That is still complex number. But don't expect it something like 3 and expect something like 0j automatically. No. By default 3, if we give 3, it is going to be integer.
Okay.
If we give explicitly 0j, then it's going to be complex number.
Okay.
Right? And string, it could be single quotes or double quotes, doesn't matter.
Okay.
It is string. And even if we try double float, it's the same. There is subtle difference between single quote and double quote. We'll discuss that short while. Maybe if it, it's 11:20 already. We started 9 o'clock, right? 9:15, I think. So we'll stop at 11:30 or 11:40. If we have enough time, so we'll discuss about this particular concept. What's the difference between using single quote and double quote? For now, consider it as the same string, right? So list is nothing but having more than one value. So till now, we are assigning only one value to variable. We can have a bunch of values. This is one of the built-in data structures. We call it as list.
Something like an array for other languages?
Exactly. So an array, wherein it's been wrapped it in square brackets. If it is wrapped in round bracket, then it's called tuple. If it is wrapped in curly brackets, we call it as set. Now, the immediate question is, what is the difference between list, tuple, and sets? It's almost same, right? But once we get in detail, then you will understand what is the difference between list, tuple, set, and when we need to use it and why we need it. For now, as we are discussing only the data types, I will give only one example each without getting into details, right? So just square bracket, if it is wrapped in square bracket, list, round bracket is tuple or tuple, and if it is curly bracket, it's going to be set. And we missed dictionary, right? So dictionary is also wrapped in square brackets, but it's going to be key-val combination.
Oh, okay.
Why we need key-val? Why not simple? Yeah.
I think.
Let's take. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think it's depending on the values that you want to display, right? So some descriptions kind of thing. Yeah, the one you are showing just now. Yeah.
Okay. So here, right. So here, if I want to access, let's take this tree, I need to mention corresponding key. So if I create a list, for example, let's take 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So in order to get 3, the index, Python index starts from 0, which is 0. So internally, it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3.
3, yeah. Y of 3.
So y of 3. The question is, it's quite easy to declare a list like this and access it with the index rather than this one.
Yeah, but
Then
if
why
there are
you prefer this one?
hundreds, if there are hundreds of values, then how do we remember which number I need to go? I mean, I need to count every time, right?
Even in the case of dictionary, you need to remember the key.
Mm,
And in fact, it's going to be much easy in the case of list because it's sequential. Here, I can even give a non-sequential value. Doesn't work
okay.
now because internally it is not going to support any index.
Okay.
Now the question is why we need list, why we need dictionary at the first end, which adds
Mm,
more complexity.
no,
Of course, you
I
can
think,
give customized names, customized
yeah.
keys, will not be number. It can be even, let's take, can be character or a descriptive name. The question is why we need dictionary. Yeah, go ahead.
I think, I mean, at least in my mind, this is what I'm thinking. I mean, if there are, if this is simple, but if there are a lot of values and if we want to maintain a certain standard, then we generally create a dictionary. I mean, if for any projects, generally we do that, right? We create dictionaries and we will ask everyone to follow the same method, so that way they don't do in multiple ways, something like that.
Okay, so let me give you a hint.
Yeah.
What is the difference between a RAM, physical RAM, and disk? Physical RAM, this is right, versus HDD or SSD, whatever.
Okay. It's like the buffer, right? You get the information immediately, quick.
Okay.
Uh,
So why don't we use RAM in the case of instead of disk, or disk instead of RAM?
It's like indexing. RAM is more like an indexing what you have. So to pull the information, and then hard disk is where you actually store that information, right? So whatever you are dealing with initially or immediately.
Why can't we have index in hard disk itself? In fact, RAM is very expensive.
Right.
So why can't we have that index in hard disk itself?
Mm.
I spoke about indexing.
Right.
That's the clue.
I mean, it's RAM does not have a lot of memory, right? It's a temporary memory. I think
we can
that's
have
what
memory. So there are organizations where the RAM is 9 terabytes or 10 terabytes. 10 terabytes of RAM, physical RAM.
Okay.
We can have it.
Mm.
But it is expensive.
Does it store the information, RAM? I mean,
In what
it's
sense?
like a hard disk.
You mean to say whether it's permanent or temporary?
Yeah,
Obviously,
it's
RAM does not. RAM
yeah.
does not support permanent memory. So once we
Right.
restart it, it's going to get erased.
Right.
The
So
question is that if hard disk has that advantage, then why can't we use hard disk instead of RAM? Wherever you pulling the pages and stored it in RAM and start accessing it.
To make it more efficient, maybe?
Efficient in the sense, like in what sense?
I mean, if I'm accessing multiple pages at the same time, I mean, to go through hard disk, it may take some time because it has to go through index and then get that information.
No, forget about RAM or indexing part. You are saying that, so it's going to pull to RAM and then it's going to get access. So that is what you're calling it as, internally it will have some record and have an index. So forget about RAM. So why can't we have hard disk straight away?
Not sure.
Okay, the thing is that the hard disk is sequential. Of course, SSD has improved a lot.
Okay.
But hard disk is sequential. Data need to be accessed sequentially. If I need first page and 10th page, it has to read the first page it will get stored in memory immediately. Whereas 10th page, it has to go through that whole thing, right? It has to check whether it is the 10th page or not, 10th page or not, 10th page or not. It has to move. It has to travel certain distance.
Right. Okay.
So that gap is nothing but latency.
Okay.
If it is, let's take one first page and immediately you will find it has found 10th page, then there is no latency. Of course, even though it takes some time to jump from one to another. The point is that hard disk is sequential, whereas RAM is not sequential.
Okay.
If it is not sequential, then we don't require to store the data in sequential manner, like list.
Right.
Or list. And so if it is dictionary, it's going to be quite faster. What any system does is, when we say memory, it is not just RAM. It's something else. What is that? Memory is not just about physical RAM. Virtual memory also.
Okay.
Where do you think the virtual memory is going to be? It is going to be in disk. If it is predominantly, it's going to be in C drive.
Okay.
Because C drives nowadays, the systems are in such a way that it's not completely hard disk. Some part, the C drive is going to SSD because it's much faster than hard disk, but it's not as fast as RAM.
Okay.
But SSD, C drive is usually going to be SSD. So in my case, it is C drive is SSD, and this one is hard disk.
Okay.
So virtual memory is going to sit in our C drive. So it doesn't mean that it has to be counted only in C drive, but it is preferred to be in C drive, because SSDs usually C drives usually have SSDs. SSDs are much faster than hard disks.
Okay.
So when we say memory is not just RAM, it includes virtual memory. Why we need virtual memory? Because the RAM is limited. So what if it exceeds that limit? If we need more thing to be stored, like for indexing, whatever, to pull it much faster. So it has to, in order to avoid that issue, so it has pulled some amount of space and consider it as a virtual memory. So whenever it spills over, then it's going to spill over to virtual memory. So together we call it as memory.
Okay.
Internally, it will have some dictionary, some key, this value, some key, this value, some key, this value. This key is nothing but hash value. File ID, some metadata of that particular file will be hash. And it's going to create a hash value. This hash value is going to be key. It's going to be this address, value is going to be the address of that particular file. Of course, this key also, if we unwrap it, unhash it, is going to get the value.
Okay.
But usually this is how it's going to be. So key and the value, key and the value, key and the value. If it is physical RAM, it's going to be quickly jump to that particular key. Whereas if it is list, it's sequential, which is not necessary in the case of RAM. Right?
So dictionary is that, right? So makes sense. Okay.
So that is the reason why we need dictionaries. Not in all the cases. If it's sequential, and if we use dictionary stored in sequential space, to say kind of HDD, then it doesn't make much sense.
Okay.
But if it is dynamically accessing, like in the case of RAM, or in some sort SSD, right?
Yeah.
Then dictionaries are going to be very helpful. Because it doesn't, latency will be reduced.
Right.
So that is the purpose of dictionary. Anyway, so these are one example each we have seen, but there is still ambiguity in the case of list, dictionary, tuple, and set. I think you got some understanding of why we need dictionary, but in the case of list, tuple, and set, it's almost similar, except the square brackets, round brackets, and parentheses. So we'll discuss in detail, we'll dive deeper into that particular concept in the next session.
Sure.
So the next concept is, I will discuss till 11:40.
Okay.
And then I will take questions if you have any.
Sure.
And typecasting is nothing but converting from one data type to another. So for example, if I have a variable called x equal to 5.2, obviously it is float.
Float, yeah.
If I want to convert int, I have int straight away. You can see that int. It's not just int, string, float, complex. We have a lot of functions.
Okay.
Let's take, I have taken integer, right? I want to convert to float. We can convert any value to string, in fact. Even this one, I can convert it. It's going to wrap it in single or double quotes. Right? So let's take, I have taken a string. You can see the type shows string. str stands for string. I want to convert into integer. I can. Float. I can. So you can convert from string, you can convert from one data type to another data type as long as it makes sense, as long as it's meaningful. For example, I can convert string to integer or float, right? What about this one? Can I?
No.
Does it make sense?
No.
In fact, it makes sense. In fact, it's necessary.
Okay.
Why? Let me show you this example. So let's take, I want some text, so I will rely on this one. For example, let's take this data. Text, right? I go with TikTok tokenizer. A website. I will copy this website link also, wherein I have a list of models from various providers.
Okay.
I'm going to erase this data, paste it. Now you can see there is an ID in a site.
Okay. Gotcha.
We call it token IDs. So why we need these token IDs? So when they prepare this model, when they train this model on a huge corpus, when you say corpus, what is meant by corpus? Group of characters, right? Or maybe group of sounds, sound or sounds. We call it as character. Group of characters, we call it as word. Group of words, we call it as phrase or sentence. Group of sentences, we call it as paragraph. Group of paragraphs, we call it as document. Group of documents, we call it as corpus. So they train on huge corpus. They extract text data from thousands or even millions of websites. We train on that. The problem in training is they use some kind of network, neural network, right? Predominantly, most of the models right now based on transformer architecture, which is advancement in neural network. In fact, there are new, still research is going on. And new architectures are coming up because every architecture we have its own trade-offs, loopholes. Right now, if you look at any, let's take a kind of GitHub, we have huggingface.pro, wherein you can see a lot of models. All these models are 99.99% models are based on transformer architecture, which is a more advanced version of neural network. So we'll discuss that in detail in deep learning. The point is that this any kind of neural network or machine learning algorithm, whatever you take, it does not understand anything other than numbers. The text, image, video, audio, doesn't matter what format it is in. It does not understand. So if it does not understand, then how come we train it and generate a model? Try to understand. Model is nothing but understand the internal pattern in the data.
Okay.
So when we say internal pattern, it is latent space. In terms of generative AI or AI in general, it is going to be something like this. For example, let's take the blue all is in Spanish. Spanish words are being grouped together. Red is in, let's take French. This is Hindi, or maybe this is Telugu, or this may be Tamil, whatever. So this is a latent space, we call it as. Maybe three-dimensional, you can see it three-dimensional data here. Or maybe this is much better, three-dimensional. In fact, it's going to be hundreds of dimensions. We can't visualize anything beyond 3 dimensions. So we can max go with this one. Latent space, we call it as, right? So this data need to be trained.
Mm.
And any architecture, any advancement, it can't directly understand text data. It has to convert to numbers. So it makes sense to convert text to numbers and convert back from numbers to text. Converting text to numbers, we call it encoding, and converting back from numbers to text, we call it decoding. Right?
Okay.
So this every provider will assign its own token ID. So we'll see in detail like what these token IDs are, what how it really happens, and why certain words. You can see generative is not one token. It's been color coded. 5926 is GNER, 1799 is ATIVE. Why the whole word is not being assigned with one ID instead of here it is two IDs. So we'll discuss those intricacies later.
Okay.
But thing is, it doesn't make sense at one way, and it makes sense in another way.
Okay.
Right.
So if
Hmm.
Python generates an error here, then what exactly the transformative model that you just showed can leverage this Python language? Can they still leverage this language in that case? Or do we
Obviously,
need to do?
Code Python does not support it, but obviously we need to write customized functions,
Okay,
encoding and decoding.
gotcha.
So
Okay.
if you look at any model, it comes with that particular function. For example, let's take any model, token 3.b, right? So when I click on that model, click on files, to scroll down, there's something called tokenizer.
Okay.
This function is an explicit function. When of course it appears as if it is JSON, but it is a function, kind of function. There are specialized frameworks or libraries we need to use to utilize this tokenizer. So this tokenizer or function takes the text data and converts to numbers or token IDs, and take the token IDs and convert back to text. We call it decoding. Encoding and decoding happens because of this tokenizer and the helper functions with this tokenizer.
Okay.
Right. So
Right.
it is not straight away possible, but we can have customized functions.
Sure.
So that's it on this part. We'll continue from next session. So typecasting we discussed it.
Yeah.
And from next part, strings, we'll do a deep dive into strings. If necessary, we'll get into generative AI part also. Like we'll try to understand token IDs.
Okay.
Even though it has to be part of generative AI concept, but there's nothing wrong in discussing in detail.
Sure.
Yeah. So any questions in today's session?
I don't have any. I asked you.
Okay. So
I kept on asking you. So thank you so much. It would be again next week, right? Our classes?
next week, yeah, Saturday, 9 a.m. IST.
Okay.
So join on time. And Bharat,
Yeah.
you have any questions?
No, Damodar. Thank you.
Okay, refer any of your friends. And the difference between the regular course that you go through, video courses, and online is question and answer, the interaction. You'll understand the concept in depth, and you will try to understand your perspective also. And the other courses, live courses, what they don't provide is the interactivity. So that is something we brought in. So I request refer any of your friends. The problem is that we don't have much time. So that's the only issue. So I request you to refer your friends. If any of your friends interested, I request them to watch the recordings. These two recordings, the demo session and today's session recording also will be shared in the common community group, WhatsApp group. So share that link also. If they are interested, I request them to join and enroll to the course.
Sure.
Okay, from next week onwards, next weekend onwards, only enrolled members will be allowed. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.